Hello everyone, you're watching News Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. The murder of former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi in 1991 sent shockwaves around the globe. He was killed in a suicide bombing in Sri Perumbudur in Tamil Nadu by a member of the Tamil separatist group, the LTTE. Those behind the conspiracy were tried, convicted and imprisoned, but they also served as political props in Tamil Nadu, with both the Dravidian parties evoking sympathy for the convicts given their connection to the Tamil cause, which was at the center of the civil war in Sri Lanka. Over the years, the members of the Gandhi family have made public statements forgiving the convicts. But political leaders, including those from the Congress, have made the point that a direct attack on the highest political office in the land cannot be forgiven. But today, the 11th of November, marks the day the Supreme Court set free 6 convicts, effectively releasing all of Rajiv Gandhi's killers. The top court released the 6 convicts, including Nalini, Ravichandran, saying they have been in jail for over 30 years and have exhibited good behavior. The bench noted that in the case of convict Perarivalan, who was released in May, the bench had decided that the governor was bound to accept the recommendation of the Tamil Nadu government granting remission. Senior advocates Gopal Shankar Narayanan, Sanjay Hegde, who represented the convicts, contested that there was no need to wait for a response from the centre. The order sparked celebrations in Tamil Nadu today, with both the Dravidian parties, one being a Congress ally, which is the DMK, hailing the decision from the top court. But once again, while the stand of the Gandhis has been forgiveness, their own leaders like Karti Chidambaram, Jairam Ramesh and Abhishek Manu Singhvi have spoken out against the verdict, calling it unacceptable, erroneous and against the spirit of India. So how should this move of the Supreme Court be seen? Is it wrong to release those convicted of assassinating a Prime Minister? Should we accept the stand of Rajiv Gandhi's family and move on? Or does this order purely serve the political interests of the Dravidian parties? Is this amnesty or politics at play? "31 years after Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated in Sri Perumbudur by a woman suicide bomber of the LTTE, all 7 convicts who were sentenced to death for their role in the killing have now been set free by the Supreme Court. It started in May this year when the top court used its special powers to free one of the convicts, AG Perarivalan. Today, the Supreme Court ordered the premature release of all 6 remaining convicts, including Nalini Sriharan.
எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷங்க 6 பேரையும் விடுதலை பண்ணது. தமிழ்நாடு கவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கும் சிஎம் அவர்கள் ஐயாவுக்கும் எல்லாத்துக்கும் நன்றி. தமிழக மக்கள் எல்லாருமே நல்லா பண்ணாங்க.
In 2000, Nalini's sentence was reduced to a life term after Sonia Gandhi filed a clemency petition pointing out that Nalini was pregnant when she was arrested. In 2008, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra met Nalini in prison in Tamil Nadu's Vellore. The sentence of 6 more convicts was also commuted in 2014. And last year, Rahul Gandhi said he had forgiven his father's killers.
I don't have anger or hatred towards anybody. Of course, I lost my father, and for me it was a very difficult time. So I felt tremendous pain, but I don't feel anger. I don't feel any hatred or any anger. I forgive.
While the Gandhi family has been vocal about not feeling any anger towards Rajiv Gandhi's killers, the Congress party fumed at the Supreme Court's decision to free the convicts.
Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, above all, is entitled to her personal views. But with greatest respect, the party does not agree with that view. The decision by the Supreme Court on the release of the assassins of Rajiv Gandhi is highly discouraging, dispiriting.
Tamil Nadu Chief Minister and Congress ally M.K. Stalin, on the other hand, welcomed the release, calling it a victory of strong legal battles and humanity. Successive governments in Tamil Nadu have been in favour of the premature release of Rajiv Gandhi's killers. But is it on humanitarian grounds or pure politics?
And is this not setting a dangerous precedent? Let me bring in all the guests and go straight to the Congress representative on the show, Arshpreet. The whole case got watered down the moment Sonia Gandhi, the widow of Rajiv Gandhi, sought mercy, and her children, both Rahul and Priyanka, had said that they forgave Nalini. Then why is the Congress today calling it unacceptable, erroneous, untenable, discouraging?
See, one, unlike the Bharatiya Janata Party, in the Congress Party, people can have their opinions. Even the Chief Justice of India says that dissent is the safety wall of democracy. So we do not force opinions upon our leaders. They're entitled to their opinions. They're entitled to their large-heartedness, their forgiving nature, their kind heart. However, the party's stand is very clear. And there are 3-4 things that I would like to mention. Number one, these people are convicts. They aren't under trials. They have been convicted of having killed, murdered a prime minister. And a fatal attack on a prime minister is not just an attack on an individual. It's an attack on the integrity of the country, on the sovereignty of the country, on the representative of 130 crore people. Therefore, it is very important that a precedent be set up, an example be made, so that nobody can ever have the audacity to do something of the sort, carry out something of the sort. Number two, the Bharatiya Janata Party, why did they not have any advocate from the side of the centre?
Well,
because the petitioners wanted release.
No. I have 2 questions for you. You have an alliance with the DMK. What stopped you from pursuing your alliance partner? Second, what stopped the Congress Party from becoming a petitioner and filing an affidavit? You could have become a party.
See, number one, we didn't know that the central government at the last moment would do something of the sort, because we thought that the Modi government would also condemn the assassination of the Supreme Court. No.
But in fact, the centre submission in the... The centre has not changed its stand. The centre in its submission in 2018 says clearly that the assassination was the most heinous and brutal crime. And that the assassination has brought the Indian democratic process to a grinding halt, as general and state elections had to be postponed. The trial, and the centre in its stand, the BJP in its stand is very clear. If anything, they're condemning it again and again.
Now, if that's true, then why weren't the central government's advocates there to defend it? Because the petitioners,
Arshpreet, you are factually incorrect today. I must say, you are factually incorrect today.
I'm sorry. How am I?
You are factually incorrect on the show today. You are factually incorrect because you're getting the entire timeline also wrong.
Let the people decide if I am factually
Kalanidhi Veeraswamy.
Number 2, I'm sorry, I won't be a part of this debate if you won't allow me to talk. Number one, it is very important that one thing be taken into consideration, that there is, even the Honorable Supreme Court says, there is no absolute guarantee, there is no blanket guarantee that a person can walk free after they have been convicted. And this was held in state of Gujarat versus Narayan. It has been contradicted. Number 2, everybody knows it for a fact that a special article had to be invoked because of the extraordinary
Absolutely, the Supreme Court has done that. And shouldn't that be challenged?
They have. However, the concern is that it is important that these people, the Bharatiya Janata Party, should first clarify if they are in favor of it or if they are against it. Because, like I said before, they did not send their advocates. And number 3, like I said, the Bharatiya Janata Party should also tell us if they are in support of the Sri Lankan convicts or if they are against the Sri Lankan convicts.
Okay, let me bring in Kalanidhi Veeraswamy. Kalanidhi Veeraswamy, you know what is happening here? That in this competitive politics that has played out in Tamil Nadu, those who are guilty of killing, conspiring, the former Prime Minister are walking free. What message are you sending? And don't you think that this is setting a very dangerous precedent?
First and foremost, I would like to clarify that we are not talking about the innocence of these people who have been released. It has already been that they have been convicted and they have been in prison for 31 years. And the Supreme Court has taken a view where there was an instance, especially about Perarivalan's case, where the person who was taking down the statement of Perarivalan had revealed a clue saying that when Perarivalan said that I bought batteries, but I did not know what the purpose of buying those batteries was. So he had stated that he did not include that line when Perarivalan had told. And you should understand one thing, that Perarivalan was an 18-year-old boy at that point of time. And there is no... See, whenever you have
repeated governments in Tamil Nadu, let me... No. You are again... while you talk about Perarivalan, let's not forget something. That in September 2018... Listen to me, please. Listen to me, please.
No point in being a part of this interview at all. I am bringing in an important fact which many of the Indians are not aware of.
Please go ahead. I will also present a fact of what Tamil Nadu government has done.
Yeah, there is a person called as who was a superintendent of police, Tyagarajan, who was taking down evidence from all the convicts. And he, in 2014, made a statement saying he went to court and he has filed an affidavit saying that when Perarivalan had given his sworn statement, he had mentioned that I bought batteries, but I was not aware what the purpose of those batteries was. So a single line where when our judicial system says that beyond reasonable doubt, unless you are very certain that beyond reasonable doubt, you cannot convict a person. No, already he has been convicted, and an 18-year-old boy has been spending time of 31 years, his prime of his youth, without, when you don't have a reasonable doubt. And the Supreme Court has taken all these things into consideration. And if you're going to talk about the Supreme Court's verdict of releasing after 31 years, 7 people, what would you say about the people who have been released in Bilkis Banu's case, where all the people who were involved in the murder of children and men and the rape, brutal rape of a woman, being carried out by a state government?
Only yesterday I did a debate in which after 10 years, convicts have been released in a rape case. It's my duty to question. I'm going to ask you one thing, sir. Since you are a member of parliament of the Lok Sabha, of the DMK, with all due respect, Mr. Veeraswamy, my question to you is, 2018 Tamil Nadu government, I'm saying this is competitive politics between AIA, DMK and DMK. Tamil Nadu government invokes its sovereign power under Article 161 of the Constitution and recommends the governor to release all 7 convicts.
Yes.
2021 February, Tamil Nadu governor refers the state recommendation to the president, saying that the latter alone is the competent authority to take a decision. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin in May 2021 writes to the president seeking release of all 7 convicts.
Yes.
Why seek release of convicts? How do I forget? How do we forget one thing, Mr. Veeraswamy? That there are 14 others as well. That there were police officers who were killed. There was a Black Cat commando who was killed. There was a 17-year-old college student who died. 10-year-old child who died. And Mahila Congress workers were also there.
We are not condoning the deaths of so many people. What we are trying to say is that this was an incident. See, supposing you are talking about a person who has gone about killing 14 different people year on year, if it was a habitual offender, I can very well understand your point of view. But this was an incident where there is a conspiracy theory to it. And even after 31 years, even today, the investigation is not complete. There are several aspects of this case which have not come to light. And when there is such a big issue.
Sumansi Raman, come in on this. You heard the Congress and the DMK.
Maria,
one may say that this is on expected lines. And there's nothing extra constitutional or extra judicial in this particular case.
Maria, the problem is not just the release on the grounds of mercy that they have served 31 years in prison. The problem is the reception that is being given.
Yes.
For instance, Mr. Perarivalan was hugged by the Chief Minister and he was presented a shawl of welcome. And this is the problem. The problem is not on compassionate grounds that 6 people have been released because they have served 31 years in prison. If that was the accepted position, Mr. Kalanidhi now is defending to some extent, saying that there was doubt expressed by one person about Mr. Perarivalan. What about the other 6? Was there nobody expressed doubts about their involvement in the case?
Yes.
One. Now that's the first point. Second point is that Sonia Gandhi ji has decided to forgive everybody. I don't see how it is relevant for the 14 people who died along with Rajiv Gandhi. Their families are as important as Mrs.
Absolutely.
Sonia Gandhi.
That's why I talked about it.
The third point.
Yes.
Maria, there was a small correction that I want to make to what you said. The center did change its stance recently. In 2018, the center categorically said we are against the release of these people. Right now, they said let the Tamil Nadu governor decide on this matter. There is a huge difference between saying let the Tamil Nadu governor decide this matter and saying that we are against the release of these people. The difference is that they were well aware, the center was well aware that there was a assembly resolution which had been passed unanimously. The governor had very little choice in the matter, and the governor could at the most return it once, and second time he would have no choice. So they knew that, and they still went and changed their stance. So this is a political game, Maria. I don't think any political party comes out of it smelling.
No, but how is this celebration of the convicts, the manner in which it has been done by the DMK, acceptable?
No, that is completely unacceptable.
Mr. Kalanidhi.
First and foremost, when Perarivalan was released, the state government was authorized by the Supreme Court to saying that they can release these 6 other convicts if they choose to and decide to. But we did not want to take law into our own hands. We waited for the Supreme Court to release them and casting aspersions on the Supreme Court, saying, talking about the release. I do not know if it comes under the contempt of court. No, you are trying to say that the Honorable Chief Justices over here who have pronounced this verdict. Do you mean to say that they are wrong about giving this verdict? I do not understand. It is not a political party, DMK, which has taken a decision, unlike in the Gujarat.
Sir, why were they hugged?
Mr. Suman,
why were they hugged by the chief minister?
Let me complete my point, and then you can make any arguments you want. What I am trying to say is, in the Gujarat case, when the state government and the governor decided to release those who were convicted, nobody brought up or raised an issue. You did not make such a big hue and cry about the whole thing. Now, today, when the Supreme Court is releasing all these 6 people, I do not know where all this argument is coming from.
Of course,
are you trying to say that the judges,
of course it will come. The fact that how can you go soft on killers of the former Prime Minister? It's sending a wrong message. There are international ramifications. We know about the conspiracy. There are several angles to it. Your own party, your own alliance partner, the Congress is against it.
Yes.
Maria, 1 point.
Yes.
Conclusively.
And everything cannot be seen from the narrow prisms of regionalism right now. Tamil pride and Tamil identity cannot be the defining point here.
Maria, just
one quick point.
Why are you not
talking of everyone's part? I think one day they will have to go back to.
Yes. Okay.
They were wrong.
Maria, one quick point.
Okay, one moment.
Not doing that.
Sumansi Raman, one moment. Let me get a word from Let me get a word from Kalanidhi and then I bring you in.
If you have such a strong
Mr.
stand, why are you not appealing for a review petition? Why are you not going against the judge's decision, their verdict?
Okay. Ramaswamy Mayappan, if anybody has objection, including the Congress party, they should file a review petition.
I think everyone losing the plot. Kalanidhi is being factually incorrect and his statement completely right from the get-go.
Okay, one
what
moment.
he's made an error with is what happened in 1999. 1999, the Supreme Court categorically accepted the conviction that happened at the trial court, which was confirmed by the High Court. And at no point has their conspiracy and their conviction been taken away. Any point, any affidavit that's been brought on record has not been taken on record. So no one is calling them innocents. They did not plead innocence in their mercy petitions. There's mercy petitions preferred, their commutation petitions that were preferred. They said that they were apologetic to what acts have been committed.
Yes.
So when after presenting those affidavits today, they can't take a different stand. It's not a game of politics that they are playing. 1. 2, I'm standing with the Congress person today. The entire mood of the country is that our Prime Minister, doesn't matter which political party he belongs to, our Prime Minister was murdered. There were 14 other brothers and sisters citizens of mine that were murdered. And to that, there is an answer that's required. Convicted people can't be commuted twice. The sentence was commuted in 2014. The sentence once again gets to be commuted. This question of law has not been answered. And the DMK today cannot take a different stand. Someone who files a mercy petition to the governor and then to the president. And the DMK today takes stand that the BJP has a different view and the other government have a different view. Let's take this into account. Abdul Kalam was the president when the UPA came to power in 2004. And then subsequently, Her Excellency Pratibha Patil was the president. Then Pranab Mukherjee. During all three periods, their mercy petitions continued to remain pending with the president. What happened to the cabinet recommendations that could have been made by the Congress and the DMK that were part of the UPA? At that point in time, they did not choose to, because this was not applicable or this was not beneficial for them in national politics. And today they like to switch it up.
One thing is clear, that the entire country, including Ramaswamy Mayappan, is standing with the Congress in their anguish. You know, today when Abhishek Manu Singhvi said that it's discouraging, unacceptable and untenable, is something that the entire country is also feeling.
Exactly. The country is the country is definitely taken aback. The country is in a state of shock because this wasn't expected. And as far as, kindly allow me to interrupt in a minute. As far as the gentleman was saying, if this is contempt of the court or not to have a dissent, he should listen to the words of the CJI. Dissent is the safety core of democracy. And number two, there are times when on one bench, there are three judges, who are in favor of something and two who are against something. And then we have appeals, then we have review petitions, curative petition, mercy petition, and a review to that as well. So therefore, dissent is an integral part of democracy. Please understand that. Number two, we will definitely be taking an appropriate legal action in order, and we'll seek the reversal of this decision.
I also
Number three, Supreme Court inter alia, among other things, has basically said that the decision is on the basis of one of these aspects. First is that Tamil Nadu government was in favor of seeking relief for them. Now, since it was such an important matter, since integrity and sovereignty of India, the then Prime Minister of India's life is concerned.
Absolutely.
We really hoped that the matter would be taken at greater
14
length.
others as well. While I understand that the Gandhis were magnanimous in showing, forgiveness, but there are 14 others as well. We have to look at those 14 families who lost their loved ones. We also have Radhakrishnan. One moment.
Last point.
Okay.
See, these Gandhis that everybody is talking about, Rahul ji and Priyanka ji have first lost their grandmother, then they lost their father. Sonia ji lost her mother-in-law, has lost her husband. These are the people, who have had to make big sacrifices, and they are the ones who have such a big heart that they are ready to forget.
Let's get Nalini's lawyer, Mr. Radhakrishnan, who has been extremely patient. Mr. Radhakrishnan, here the Supreme Court has invoked its extraordinary power under Article 142. The top court, one moment, sir. The top court had on May 18th ordered the release of Perarivalan, who had served over 30 years, and said that the Tamil Nadu governor ought not to have send the binding advice made by the state cabinet. My question is, since that article has been invoked, which is about extraordinary powers, your client had sought, essentially mercy here. So how, with this kind of release, is this, what exactly is the reaction? And particularly, don't you think that it's unfair for those other 14 families? While we understand that there is forgiveness that has been given by the Gandhis, but what about those 14 families that they are waiting for justice?
Yes, give me only 2 minutes.
Yes.
Every crime has its own ramifications.
Yes.
There is no doubt, right? Here, when you consider a life convict for premature release, what you have to do is to look at the criminal, not the crime. That's what the Constitution bench in Murugan says, right? All these 7 life convicts, they've undergone more than 20 years of imprisonment initially. The Tamil Nadu scheme, you should understand. Every state has schemes of premature release. In Tamil Nadu, there is a scheme of premature release. No life convict should be put in prison beyond 20 years. So,
but Mr. Radhakrishnan, here is the former Prime Minister. How do you forget that? What kind of precedent is being set here?
No one should forget. It is the murder of a person. That's all. Murder of persons. That's what the law says. Law doesn't say it is former Prime Minister, present Prime Minister. Law says it's a person. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. So, when a person is killed or family is killed, he has committed the crime of only 302 read with 120B. Here, All these people, all the 7 people, have not committed any crime except participation in the conspiracy. That's what the Supreme Court says. For participating in the conspiracy, they have undergone more than 30 years of imprisonment. It's not a mercy at all. It is the right to be considered for release, premature release. It is a scheme. That scheme simply approved by the Supreme Court today. Supreme Court has not released. Sovereign power under Article 161, that was used and these people were released. Because the central government has no authority at all. Supreme Court in Constitution Bench judgment in Sriharan's case made it clear central government has no authority at all to consider any person who is convicted under Section 302. That's why the state government has done. State government has done. They could have done it already because the governor has failed to perform his duties. Under Article 161, the Supreme Court does this. The state government itself could have released because it is only constitutional courtesy. Governor's signature is constitutional courtesy. Nothing more, nothing less.
A sitting prime minister is killed. Several other innocent people are killed.
Yep.
And
same.
Maria.
Offense is.
Yes,
Maria.
Mr. Radhakrishnan.
Don't talk about the crime.
One second.
Crime is
One second,
one
sir.
crime you should not talk. It is reformation and rehabilitation. No, you try to say these people should die in prison.
No. I'm not talking about that. Mr. Mayappan, you know, in the case of Afzal Guru, the Supreme Court bench had said, in case of Afzal Guru, let's have Nalini's lawyer and Mayappan on the screen now. The collective conscience of the society will be satisfied only if the death penalty is awarded to Afzal Guru. That's what it said. And he was hanged.
Maybe.
What kind of precedent we are setting if there is, if the killers of a sitting prime minister is let off?
No, the Supreme Court cannot do anything else because the governor ought to have put his seal. The governor failed in his duty. That's why the Supreme Court intervenes.
Okay.
Otherwise, Supreme Court doesn't do that. Supreme Court has not released. Kindly don't misunderstand.
Mr.
Supreme Court has not
And then I'll
released.
give the final words to
Tamil Nadu government has released.
So there are two issues here.
Yes.
I think two things that the Supreme Court came on to in the 2018 position and subsequently what was decided in 2022 May. One is the unreasonable delay on the hands of the president in the first round of requests is unreasonable. And that's the reason of commutation happening. And I think that delay is owing to various constitutional powers, both in the state and the center. That. And then two, that unreasonable delay should not be there. Two here that my learned senior talks of is about what the Tamil Nadu scheme provides for. But the scheme also provides for exemptions. The exemption is for terror-related acts.
Yes.
And I think this should be treated amongst one of those.
Yes.
What happened in Coimbatore in 1990?
No, I'm sorry. Supreme Court has made it clear it is not a terrorist offense. I'm sorry. Supreme Court has clearly given the judgment.
Being taken
it is
away
not a terrorist act.
Does not
No
mean
terrorist,
that this is not a
terrorist
terrorist
act. You go through the judgment. They are acquitted of all the offences under the Law Act. Where is the question of terrorism here?
But the
It's very
incident does
unfortunate.
not take that
Supreme
away.
Court is criticized by like this.
It was an assassination
Supreme Court
of a
is
sitting
ultimate
prime
word.
minister. We cannot forget that, and I'm reminding the viewers again and again. Suman C. Raman, you get the final words here.
No, we need not forget.
We should
No,
not
we
forget.
need not forget.
We
But
should
Supreme
not
Court is
forget.
No,
final.
excuse me, sir. I want to ask everyone on the show only one question.
Yes.
Today, after the verdict came from the court, Nalini spoke to Zaka Jacob on CNN News 18 and said she was innocent. Ravichandran, another accused, spoke to CNN News 18 and said that they have been framed by the CBI. Please understand, as far as the law is concerned, nowhere did the Supreme Court say that they are innocent and therefore being released. They are convicted assassins of a former prime minister.
Yes.
Does anybody on the panel here agree with the statements made by Nalini or by Ravichandran on CNN News 18 today?
Okay, Mr. Kalanidhi, I'll ask you that question. Okay, we seem to have lost that line. Ashpreet, will you take that question?
See, one, the fact of the matter is that these people are convicts. It's been proven. They have been proven guilty of having killed murdered the then Prime Minister of India. And the gentleman who's saying that, he's just like any other individual. I think this is absurd at another level.
Yes.
When he was killed, it shoved the country into darkness. The law and order went into shambles. And therefore, that's why it becomes very important that an example be set up.
Absolutely.
So that there is fear
I've
of
really
law,
come to the end of this discussion. Thank you so much to all the guests, because there's a piece of breaking news coming in now and I'm going straight to that. After accusing the top brass of the Aam Aadmi Party, including Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and Satyendra Jain of corruption, blackmail and extortion, Sukesh Chandrasekhar, con man who is presently in jail, has penned a fresh letter. He says he's ready for a polygraph test if both Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and Satyendra Jain give their consent for the same. Also says he arranged the PR for the Delhi government school story. This comes as Jacqueline Fernandez, who's an accused in the 200 crore cheating scandal, appeared in the court today. Her bail hearing has been deferred to the 15th of November. Ananya, who's getting us that piece of breaking news, is joining me live. So, Sukesh Chandrasekhar there saying that he's ready for a polygraph test. And this is his 6th letter, Ananya?
Well, definitely, Maria, another explosive letter, 6th letter by Sukesh Chandrasekhar coming in. Clearly a new fresh allegation that the Delhi school model story, which was promoted on various American and foreign newspapers, was actually done by Sukesh and his PR contacts. In fact, what he also goes on to say is that he's completely ready for a polygraph test, and Arvind Kejriwal and Deputy CM Manish Sisodia are having sleepless nights because Mr. Sukesh Chandrasekhar is all set for a polygraph test. Apart from that, what he goes on to say is that he asked Kejriwal, I had gifted you a watch of a black strap and you asked me to change the color of the strap to blue. A bigger allegation that comes in on the school model, because remember, Maria, the school model story is a very, very important one, because when raids were conducted on Manish Sisodia in the whole Liquorgate scandal, it was the school story which Manish Sisodia took as defense. And the whole day, if you remember, when raids were going on, Manish Sisodia did debates on actually the school story, on the school model. But now Sukesh Chandrasekhar's big charge, fresh charge, that $850,000 plus a 15% additional charge to the PR was given to promote the story on American newspapers. But at the same point of time, we have to remember that he's a con man. His statements are not credible in nature, but they can definitely be a new way, a new path for the investigation agency, as we've been pointing it out earlier as well in his earlier letters. But then this fresh charge coming in, and he completely saying that the American model was actually promoted by Sukesh Chandrasekhar and his contacts, and the whole story reached the American newspapers because of Sukesh Chandrasekhar. So this fresh charges, we'll have to wait and watch as to how the Aam Aadmi Party defends it and how the political slugfest begins on this particular story.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me, Ananya, with that piece of breaking news. The 5th letter that has been written by Sukesh Chandrasekhar. Remember, he's a con man who is presently in jail. Shifting focus to debate 2. There is another political firestorm in the state of West Bengal as Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has levelled fresh charges against the centre, this time against the National Investigation Agency. While addressing an event in the Nadia district, she said that the agency, that is the NIA, is fueling communal tensions in the state, even floating the theory that weapons are likely being transported in VIP cars in the name of VIP protection. This comes as the NIA has become active in the state in the wake of communal clashes. The latest one being in Mominpur area of South Kolkata, where clashes erupted on Lakshmi Puja last month. Meanwhile, the BJP hit back at Mamata Banerjee, saying arms are being recovered and bomb factories are being raided by the NIA and central agencies, showing the true colours of Mamata government, even accusing her of sheltering vandals and terrorists. Bengal is a sensitive border state, and law and order there often becomes a national issue, given the easy movement of radical organizations across borders. While maintaining law and order in such a state should be a joint federal operation, is the TMC Supremo guilty of derailing that fight for the sake of politics?
স্পেশাল প্রোটেকশন নিয়ে কালো কালো ঝান্ডা লাগিয়ে কালো কালো সারা দেহে বসন পড়ে যেন একটু জায়গা দাও মা আমি গুন্ডামি করে আসি, এটাকে বন্ধ করতে হবে।
উন্মাদের কথার উত্তর দেব না। বিরোধী দলনেতার কনভয় একদিন 100 বার চেকিং করতে পারে এবং নিশ্চিতভাবে ভিডিওগ্রাফি করে চেকিং করতে হবে এবং এটা মুখ্যমন্ত্রীর ক্ষেত্রেও প্রযোজ্য হবে।
So let me take you through the slew of charges being leveled by Mamata Banerjee, West Bengal Chief Minister. She is claiming that arms and cash are entering Bengal in VIP cars. Mamata Banerjee says that such cars which carry arms and cash are escorted by people in black gear. She has given a soundbite, in fact. She said that. The Chief Minister is saying that a few have planned a communal dhamaka for December. So she's preempting it. She says that something is planned by these VIP cars in December and has called for strict vigils along borders to break such conspiracies. Mamata Banerjee says that the NIA has entered the scene to fuel tensions in Murshidabad, which is dominated by the Muslims of the state. A significant minorities live in that particular district of Murshidabad. The Chief Minister has gone on to say that the police should keep an eye on border forces. She also says that it is the duty of the Border Security Force to inform the local police, that is the West Bengal police, when crime happens. So can the Chief Minister back these charges with proof, or is it petty politics over law and order? Let me go straight to the guests who are joining me on the show. Priyanka Tibrewal, spokesperson of West Bengal BJP. I also have Riju Datta, spokesperson of the TMC. Priyanka, the claims of the Chief Minister cannot just be dismissed by the BJP as politics. It should be investigated. Don't you agree?
The question is to me?
Yes.
Yes. So firstly, I would say, Maria, that TMC, for that matter, should condemn the statement made by the Chief Minister, their party supremo, and such grave allegations on an independent agency as such as NIA. Now, we all know the reason for crying foul. You see, the cards about which she was mentioning, first I'll come to that there is a charge sheet which has been filed by the CBI in the Sharada scam, which says that ambulances were used to do this entire money transfer business. So that charge sheet speaks about it. So now who is knowing that better than Mamata Banerjee, that who were using those ambulances and who were using cards in order to move money in the education scam as well. Now, once again, I will mention that what is the reason why she's crying foul. See, when she's speaking about the NIA, we know that the responsibility of the NIA is to take care of the internal security and as well as the border related issues. Now, they have to look into this. So when the Ministry of Home Affairs, when they had said that the area should be increased from 15 kilometers to 50 kilometers so that BSF can ensure that nothing can go wrong in a state, it is Mamata Banerjee who opposed it for the first chance. And we do not know the reason. Now we can well understand after the details of the charge sheets which are filed in Sharda cases. See, West Bengal has become a safe haven for terrorists. And why do I say that? It's not without evidences. I will point out that in the past few days, please find out how many people or how many terrorists for that matter have been arrested, and not only by other agencies, but how many names are there in the state SIT. And you will get to know that these people who were arrested,
you have
they
made
have
some pointed charges,
organizations.
Allegations against the TMC. Go ahead, Riju. Explain. The Chief Minister has said it. You know, she is a position of great authority in the state. For her to level this charge, is she backing with those evidences? And if it is true, then she should approach the central government, the Home Ministry in particular, to ensure that if the NIA is involved allegedly in a crime of this nature, then they should be stopped.
Let me be very clear. We have the utmost, the Trinamool Congress has the utmost respect for the central agencies. However, where we have our apprehensions, I will clearly tell you, You know, in the Sanjay Raut versus the Patrachal case, we have seen what the Honorable Mumbai PLA court has said, that the ED is doing pick and choose. So it is quite evident to the people of this country that all the central agencies have been politicized by the BJP to act upon on the other political parties who are anti-BJP. Point number one. Number two, in the Naroda and Charoda case, one of the prime accused whose charge sheet mentioned is the leader of opposition, Shubhendu Adhikari in Bengal, who twice a week goes and has tea with the Home Minister of the country. That is the state of law and order. Third, most integral point, law and order is a state subject. There is no interference.
Absolutely, because law and order is the state subject, Riju Datta. And the state has the responsibility to ensure that if there is a crime of this nature, a conspiracy, according to the Chief Minister, which involves an investigative agency, the top investigative agency of the country, according to her, then she should inform the Home Ministry. She should take it up in a much more serious way than making it trivial, the manner in which she has, made it like a public statement.
If you give me the courtesy of finishing my statement, I can give you the answer. So, law and order being a state subject, it is completely up to the state to seek help of the central government.
Yes.
Now, in this case, I am categorically stating you and on your national channel with millions of viewers that before the Panchayat elections, in Shubhendu Adhikari's VIP convoy, which is guarded by CRPF, illegal arms and ammunition and money is being transported throughout Bengal, especially in Nandigram area of West Bengal. We are dealing with it very strictly, and I'm saying this on record. And why? We have nothing.
So you are saying that Shubhendu Adhikari is carrying illegal weapons. That's what you're saying. The leader of opposition in Bengal Assembly is carrying it.
What is the evidence? And what? Can I finish, please? And then I will hear Priyanka what she has to say.
Then action should be taken against him. Why is the state police not taking action against him?
One second.
Now you cannot just blabber without any evidence, without
I cannot shout like this.
What is the truth about it? Just tell me. Does he have evidence?
Let her speak then, Maria. Let her speak. Let you have your show with
What is he speaking? What is he speaking? If he
Can I finish?
Why is the
Can I
police not
finish?
taking any action? Why are
Can
they
I
not going
finish?
before the court
Okay,
of
okay,
law?
Riju,
No,
finish
you
your point.
can't.
Finish your point.
You cannot just keep on blabbering.
I do
Finish
not
your
like
point.
this.
Okay,
I
Riju
do
will
not
finish
like,
his point.
I do not like
Maria,
people who
now
do
tell
not
me.
have an
Now
iota
tell
of
me.
sense blabbering on TV.
Now
One moment,
tell me.
Priyanka, one moment, yes.
And I'm telling you, Shubhendu Adhikari is doing this because it is public knowledge in front of state media and national media where Shubhendu Adhikari, Shukanta Majumdar and Dilip Ghosh has categorically come on TV and said that by December we will create a ruckus and we'll make sure this government falls. Okay. They are trying to create a communal riot in Bengal and we will not let that happen. Okay. The Honorable Chief Minister, who's also the Home Minister, has directed the DG to look after it, and the police and the intelligence of the state is looking after the whereabouts of Shubhendu Adhikari, who
fine.
under the guard of central
Priyanka, that's a serious charge being leveled against the leader of opposition. Certainly, your party cannot be seeing this as just another charge. I mean, the leader of opposition, your face, Shubhendu Adhikari, is being seen in this way by the sitting government there.
Maria, you can allege whatever you want to, but ultimately you need to prove what you are saying. Is there any evidence? And if there is evidence, then I will say, why didn't the state police take any action against it? Why didn't they go before the court of law?
Maria, can I ask her a question?
What I will say is, now if my friend allows me, then I would like to throw and put some knowledge into his mind how the NIA steps in. What does the Section 6 ABC say? That if there are any incidents of blast or explosive substances found, what does the state need to do? The investigating officer has to write to the Home Ministry, and the Home Ministry, if thinks or dooms fit, then the NIA steps forward. In many cases, High Court has questioned them that did you write to the Home Ministry regarding this? Please? Because Bengal has become a place where arms, ammunition and bombs are being hurled on each other every day. Every day it is being raided.
Okay, go ahead. Riju, ask her a question because she has a question for you.
Now,
she is saying that what is the evidence?
Okay.
And why are you not approaching the approaching the court?
Uncomfortable.
Approach the court.
Can I ask?
Yes, go ahead.
Please? Yes. First of all, NIA also got involved when our Bengal MP, who was at D then in BJP, called Arjun Singh, his house was bombed, apparently. Now he's back to Trinamool Congress. What happened to that investigation? There was also another NIA investigation where one of our ministers almost lost his life.
That is why we are saying that all the more NIA is required in West Bengal.
I cannot have a civil conversation, such an uncivil person.
No.
Okay, Priyanka, let him speak, please. Yes.
Okay, and my last and the only pertinent question, and then Priyanka can have my airtime also. Her leader Subhendu Adhikari, Shukanta Majumdar and Dilip Ghosh has multiple times come on media and said, in December you will see what happens and we will make this government fall. Can Priyanka Tibrewal, being the spokesperson of BJP, clarify on CNN News 18 what do they mean by that statement?
Okay.
She can have my airtime.
Now, Maria, I could hardly hear him.
No. His question is, Priyanka, let me tell you. Let me repeat the question.
Yes, tell me.
He's saying that why are your leaders saying with confidence that in December the government will fall? What is the larger conspiracy that is being hatched by your party?
Anybody, even a child in West Bengal will say so, because look at the incidents, look at Baktui, look at Raniganj, look at Birbhum,
but how is that linked to the government falling? This is a full majority government. How will it fall?
A government is only there when the trust of people is there on the government, and this trust.
Mamata Banerjee has done one only recently. You cannot say, and if anything, after the numbers have only fallen of the BJP.
Now again,
how do you discount that?
When he did not have answers to my question, he shifted the focus on the fall of the government.
Maria,
I am questioning him that
now?
you are raising fingers on NIA, right? Now he doesn't have any answer to it. Tell me what happened in Murshidabad. Tell me what happened in Birbhum. Every day, explosives are being raided and found. What are they doing about it? It is their police who is there in administration here. What is the law and order situation here? So, in certain circumstances, now they will point out fingers to the ED, to the NHRC, to the NCPCR, to the CBI. Everyone is wrong. Only they are correct because NIA, because ED, because CBI, they are showing them mirror, where they have a dirty image and they are not being able to tolerate the same. Now, see, I very well understand. He is only after Subhendu Adhikari, Dilip Ghosh, because BJP has now become a nightmare for them. They are getting haunted. They are getting haunted with the true questions.
Okay.
Which we are
I have just enough time for Riju Datta.
Time for them to
Riju, question is that here is the Chief Minister who has levelled very serious allegations against a top investigation agency. Will she be taking this up, or will it be just about political statement?
No, we will take this up with proof. But again, Maria, I will tell you this. When I gave Priyanka Tibrewal my full airtime, to all the viewers of CNN News 18, all their leaders have come on media and said, we will make sure the TMC government falls in December. What will they do in December? Why is Priyanka not answering that question? What is that got to do with CDC?
What is the reason for this fear? What is the reason for this fear? We are opposition. We will speak against what is happening. What is the reason for this fear? If you have acted as per law, what is the reason for this fear? Why are you getting haunted? Why are you getting haunted?
All right, Riju Datta and Priyanka Tibrewal, thank you so much. We'll continue this discussion some other day because it is BJP versus TMC clearly in the state of West Bengal. We're slipping to a short break. Up next, the top international stories of the day, special reports from midterm elections after a quick break. Stay with us.